Legally speaking, it's 11:25, and when it comes to the law, there is a lot to know, and that's why it is so great to consult with an expert for this stuff.
Absolutely. So today we have Marco G. Bocciarelli, a senior partner at Friedman Domiano Smith, to help break down one of the law's more complicated subjects. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
So, Marco, what kind of law do you at the firm specialize in?
We deal primarily with personal injury law, which means everyday people who are hurt because of the responsibility or the negligence of another person. And what I really wanted to come in here today to talk about, if you don't mind me just jumping right into it, is time limits. It's something that came up the last time I was here, and I thought maybe it was worthwhile talking a little bit about it, because there's these arbitrary time limits in the law that are decided upon by your state legislature, and it's called the Statute of Limitations. And what is concerning, and what I want to kind of get out to people and let them know, is you have to be wary of that. You have to know about it, because if you don't, you can miss your opportunity if you've been injured.
So I think the first thing that would come to my mind is, why are these time limits set?
Sure. So, and this goes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier. What do? My practice is primarily personal injury. So I represent plaintiffs. The other side, the person that we believe is responsible for this injury, is the defendant. What I do is I file a lawsuit or a claim against defendants. Now, the statute of limitations is clearly a law that's generated or created for the benefit of the defendants. The theory is that you shouldn't have to walk around with the threat of a lawsuit hanging over your head for extended period of time. So there is a drop dead date on which any plaintiff has to file a lawsuit. Now, the problem that I find, and something that happens to me every single week, is that people will call and nobody tells them. They don't know that they have this deadline that they have to file a lawsuit on, or they lose their opportunity.
So are there exceptions to the statute of limitations?
There are exceptions, but they are very, very limited. Just to give you some examples, age is an exception to the statute of limitations. Military service is an exception to the statute of limitations. And mental incompetence or disability is an exception to the statute of limitations. So if you're under 18, your statute of limitations doesn't begin to start until you're 18, and then you have this extension of time. If you are serving the military, you get an extension to your statute of limitations. And it is certainly not a guarantee, but say if you were in a coma or you had some mental disability that didn't allow you to perceive the passage of time, then you may be able to get an extension to the statute of limitations.
This might seem like a really stupid question, but I'm going to just throw it out there. So when talking about the statute of limitations, is there a most common thing that you deal with under that? Or is that hard to say, because it's like all over the gamut?
Well, there's no easy answer, I guess, is what I would say. The best advice that I could give anyone is to call us at Friedman Domiano Smith. Our founder, Jeff Friedman, likes to tell us that that's the one thing that we can't fix, is if someone misses the statute of limitations. For me, the thing that I deal with most often is the personal injury. That's a 2-year statute of limitations. The thing that we talked about last time I was here which was the wrongful death cases. That's also a 2-year statute of limitations. But there are other things that I deal with regularly that have different statute of limitations. Medical malpractice is only a year. Workplace injuries is only a year. Different states have different statutes of limitations. And so what you can find yourself in is a situation where you have one set of circumstances where multiple things have happened. And they will have different statutes of limitations. So if you don't bring a claim in a timely fashion,
you could really miss out on it.
You miss out completely. And that's the last thing I want to happen. The one thing that I would say, and I apologize if I'm already repeating myself.
No, I mean, I feel like this is the kind of information you need.
Yeah, just call us. Call us at Friedman Domiano Smith. I will be more than happy to talk to someone, talk to them about their claim, talk to them about what their statute of limitations is and what risks they face in terms of waiting too long. There's never such a thing as calling too early. It helps protect evidence. It helps protect the statute of limitations, and we can help guide you through that process.
So if you're in a situation where you think you might need these services, call 216-621-0070. You can go to FDS law.com. Thank you very much for sitting down with us.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
I mean, it's complicated and you make it easy.
Yeah.
You make it seem like everything is going to be okay. So